welcome to JV Trio Podcast, Season 9, Episode 7. I'm Lee McDonald Jr.
Chris, I'm in the top 10 with Nancy.
There's only 10 teams.
12.
Mark, the ancient warrior merchants.
If there were only 10 teams, that would have been the funniest. But yes, Chris's team has cracked the top 10. He's no longer in last place. The only dads have won again. And yeah, it was quite the interesting position round week. There were a lot out of all the position rounds we've had. This is probably the one where teams jumped the most places. You know, top teams got lowered, bottom teams got higher. I don't think one team stayed in the same position from one week to the next during that position round week. It was a crazy, crazy week.
Yeah, it was.
All goes to the handicap teams, huh?
Hey, the shot wasn't that bad. If I can bowl good on it, I mean, everybody else had to have a good shot. We had a lot of higher scores than definitely the week before. But yeah, so we got through position round. We're now entering our second phase of bowling. We got 4 phases.
Who won the position round?
I would say, well, actually, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and cover that in the fastest 3 minutes of bowling? Let's just get right into it because it was a pretty exciting week. So we'll find out who won the most points and who won the week. All right, so to start it off, we got on lanes 21 to 22. Or you know what? Let's go in reverse order because 21 22 is where the top teams bowl. So let's start on 31 and 32 where we had the 2 last place teams, formerly last place.
Yeah, formerly. Yeah. Past tense.
In 11th place was Team 6. That is the Housequake. That's Henderson and Ensline and Patrick. They bowled against the Only Dads. And Only Dads ended up taking 32 out of 48. So, like we mentioned a minute ago, you guys won again. I can't believe it. This is 3 weeks in a row. And you were here for it. So, what was that 31-32 like?
I mean, first I had to change the lineup for me to go against Michael Henderson.
Which is legal when you're in the lower seed, so...
Yep. His first game was his highest game ever. He bowled a 220 on me.
Yes, he did. 223, and I thought that's how the night was going to go.
And with his 60-pin handicap...
Yes.
He bowled 280.
He did. I saw him.
I was like, what the fuck?
He ate his Wheaties that night.
Yes, but after that, I was averaging 200 a game. He didn't, and we ended up taking all of it. We were just bowling good after the first game.
Yeah, it was quite the spectacle. To see Only Dads winning 3 weeks in a row, and we'll get to the standings where you guys ended up here in a second. But kudos to you guys. You guys pulled it out.
Mm-hmm.
We're in 10th out of 10 teams.
Every team they pass, the bottom teams get eliminated from the whole league.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that. We should do that.
They should retire just from pity from having Chris's team pass them. Is that it?
No. I mean, what you said before we started the podcast, that I have a chance to pass Mark's team because they're going down, we're going up.
They're dropping, you guys are going up. I guess maybe your theory is right. Handicap management is a thing.
Well, he's still only 51 pins behind.
Hey, that's 1 week.
Only. Well, I mean, compared to what it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it 100 pins?
Yeah.
Or did it change to 50 pins within 1 week? Was that last week?
No, it was 100 pins. You're right.
So wow.
See? It's already coming in my favor.
You guys, that sounds nasty. But so you guys cut the split in half within 1 week?
No, 2.
It was 2. Okay, it was 2 weeks. Well, still though, I mean, geez, I didn't think it was that big a deal, Chris. You guys are really on it.
Yeah, we're trying to win.
Yeah.
I think I will say I think if me and Ron didn't bowl the last 3 weeks, we'd probably still be in first.
It seems like that. It seems because your guys' average was really high. I'm surprised Ron didn't take 2 weeks off because his average was what, like 223? That's 613 a week. I mean, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But his bowling wasn't.
Unfortunately, he lowered his average within 2 weeks down to 211. So that just tells you how bad it's been when you drop your average within 12 pins in 2 weeks. But you seem to be hanging in there, Mark. You're still at 205. I mean, you were only at, I think your highest peak was at 208. So you're still maintaining pretty good.
Yeah. Still well ahead of Chris.
I hear a wager coming on. I hear a wager.
That's intentional. That's intentional.
Oh. So you're saying you don't think you're going to be able to pass Mark before even the half was over?
Well, what I'm saying is I don't want to pass Mark.
Oh, I see. What do they call that? Mark, what do they call that when you don't want to average high?
Strategy.
No, the other word that starts with a S.
Strategy.
Sounds like, I think it's a shitty bowler.
A shitty strategy.
But hey, you definitely get out on this podcast that somebody did shoot a 300 game before Chris did.
Oh, yes, we will get to that here in a second. Let me finish up here. If there was anything bad that happened to Chris this past week,
no one in our league bowled 300 before I did.
All right, so before the music runs out, let me get back to where we were at from what we bowled last week in the results. So 29 and 30, ninth place bowled 10th. That's team number 4. That is Mustache Ride, Brian Brimmerman's team, along with Christian and Matthew. They bowled against Pin High, Gino Clay and his wife Tina and Craig. Craig bowled decent, but it was a rough night for Gino. Another hard week on them, and Brian bowled great. Matthew's been coming back. Christian's been doing decent. They won the whole league that week. They won the most points. They won 44 out of 48. So kudos to Brian's team. Mustache Ride, they won the most points. So good job on them. And then this next pair was 27-28. Happened to be my team against the formerly first place team, the In-Laws or Outlaws, which is made up of Eric and Tina. They're still missing a third, but that vacant bowler's doing some damn good work. I think they won all their points that week against, I think it was Ricky that subbed with us, unfortunately, because he didn't win a point against the vacant. But my team did something I don't think I've ever seen another team do, and it's pretty disappointing feat. We ended up winning the second game, we won the third game, and we won total points. So basically 3 out of 4 spots we won. Now you would normally think 35, 36, maybe even close to 40. We ended up taking 24 out of 24 points. We did a friggin' kiss your sister night, and we won 3 out of the 4 spots, which is, I've never heard of that before in my whole.
Are you sure that adds up? Are you sure that adds up?
That's it does, because they took all 12 the first game, but the games that they lost, they ended up taking 2 out of each one, meaning that they took 4 points. So if you do 12 and then 4, 4, 4, that's another 12. So 12 and 12 is 24. I didn't think it was possible, but of course my friggin' team would be the first one to do it. It was unbelievable. I think the one person that bowled decent was, actually it was myself. I shot 600, but Eric, he had bowler of the week. He kicked Peyton's butt. Ricky didn't win a friggin' point against the vacant. He bowled like shit. So yeah, my team did something that's never been done before. We took 3 games, but we ended up only splitting 24 out of 24, which sucked.
Yeah, sounds like.
That's how much we suck. All right, next pair. Let's get past the suckiness and move on to the 5th place against the 6th place team. 3 Fingers Deep was in 5th, and it's made up of Rick, Andre, and George. They bowled team number 8, which is almost empty nester, the Davises. Another kiss your sister night. They split the games up and all the points. Rick bowled pretty decent. George and Andre bowled a little under average, which is why they lost, because Anna Marie Davis did good that week. She's been holding up that team here lately, because Nancy hasn't been bowling her best, and Bob's been in there, but Anna Marie's been holding them up. So they ended up winning 24 out of 24, so not too bad for almost empty nest, hanging in there with 3 fingers. All right, now we're getting towards the upper echelon. We got the 3rd place team against 4th place. 3rd place is the Ball Fondlers, the hottest team in the league. one that gets the most pins out of I think they're up there. I don't know if they get the most. I think maybe Craig's team gets the most handicap, but ball fondlers definitely get a lot of it, and they have earned the spot, though, of being called the hottest team in the league because they're bowling well above their average. They bowled against the newly fourth-place team, formerly first place. We got balls. And so, Mark, I know it was a struggle for you guys. And actually, I may have misspoke.
Would you say the ball?
Yeah?
Would you say the ball fondlers are the hottest sandbagging team in the league? Is that what you said?
That's what we were talking about earlier. What did you say, strategy?
Yeah.
That's the one
The
team
hottest
that I think
sandbagging team in the league.
Yeah, they're the hottest. And I misspoke earlier when I said Brian Berman's team won the night because they didn't win the most points. The hottest team in the league won the most points, which is 46 out of 48.
I think that team is the one team who isn't sandbagging.
The ball fondlers?
Yes.
That could be true. They're all brand new bowlers except for Bryson.
I honestly think they want to do good, but they just suck so badly that
I think it's the opposite. I think these are brand new bowlers, haven't been bowling league, and they want it the most, which is great because I love that. Because most of our teams that have been there for years are kind of like, we've been here, done that, and they don't have that killer instinct anymore. They got to get that back.
Hey, Chris, it sounds like you were talking about your team when you said that they want to bowl, they just suck.
No, we're making our story great. Our comeback story will be great.
Make bowling great again.
Yep, yes, sir.
All right, so battle for first place. It was the first place team, the newly crowned first place team for the week. It was Here for the Beer, Camilla's team, Mike Wang and Jose Beltre. They went up against team number 7, Long Live Rock, which is Neil, Jabir, and TJ. And the night that was won is by Camilla herself. Her partners bowled average, but she's the one that won it for the night. I'm going to say this, she made bowler of the week. I'm not even going to say for the ladies. She made bowler of the week, period. Not her period, but she bowled the best out of everybody, and she bowled 92 pins over her average.
Damn.
The highest in the league out of male or female. So we're crowning her the sole bowler of the week.
You know why?
Oh, yeah. Why don't you tell us why?
Because I gave her the D.
Why? Of course.
The vitamin D.
If only we all...
Vitamin D. Vitamin D.
Yeah. Which, never mind. I don't want to say that. No, I'm not going to say it. But anyway, they ended up winning 32 out of 48. So kudos to Camilla and her team. Now let's see where they ended up in the standings, because this is the most interesting. As it turns out, they did not make first because the hottest team in the league leapfrogged them. Yes, sir. The Ball Fondlers, the brand new team, they were towards the bottom when the season started.
On the
They are now leading with the Bullets. They are first place, intend on keeping it. There's not a single team that has beat them in the last month, and they're going to keep up the winning streak. They have 268 points, and they are currently sitting in first. Second place, not too far behind them, Here for the Beer, Camilla's team, at 267, only 1 point behind. And in third, Long Live Rock. They went from second to third. They got knocked down, and they're in 240. Three Fingers Deep is hanging in there at 228. They're in fourth. We Got Balls, formerly in first, got knocked down to fifth place. They're hanging on barely at 220. They were at 200 points 2 weeks ago, and they've only made it to 220 within 2 weeks, which is a very tough 2 weeks. Almost Empty Nester is in sixth. They're at 216. In-Laws or Outlaws, they're right behind them on their tail at 214 on seventh. And Mustache Ride is at 213, only 1 point behind and eighth. And my team in ninth place, Hawk to a Whap with 209. And that's the last team that is in the 200s. The last three teams, Only Dads in 10th place, top 10. They're 174. Next to them is Pin High at 172. They're in 11th. And in last place, not too far, Housequake at 171. And that was your fastest 3 minutes in bowling.
Yeah.
But, so The news of the week, though, was not even in our league. It was in the league before us. And something happened that I probably, if somebody would have made this bet, would have probably been like 1,000-1 odds if Vegas had a bet line. So we come in about 8:30-ish. So we get there early before the league starts. Usually our JB Trio bowlers start strolling in around.
Whoever's listening to us right now, you can fast forward. That's like 5 minutes.
No, savor every second.
Fast forward right now.
So we show up at 8:30.
Fast forward.
Our JB Trio League doesn't get there till around 9-ish. So me and Peyton get there early. We walk in and we find a whole bunch of cheering going on 29 and 30. Well, as it turns out, our very own Ricky Boudreau, if you haven't seen it already online, he ended up shooting in his second game something that Mr. Chris Woodmansey has yet to do. He actually bowled a sanctioned 300 game, his first ever, before Chris Woodmansey.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Now,
it happened.
if the odds for him to do it was 1,000-1, for Chris Woodmansey to do it, it's 10,000-1.
Okay.
Place your bets. Place your bets. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. The cheering was, I mean, I've never heard anybody get cheered at 300 that big before. It was,
I think Ricky's dying. That's why he got 300.
Chris, I can't wait until he shows you his ring.
Oh, we have to get a picture of that. I didn't think about that. Even if Chris refuses, we're going to crop him in somehow. Maybe get to when he wore the wig and the skirt and then crop the ring in with Ricky. Oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
I feel like I'm Dan Marino without a Super Bowl.
Oh, please. Dan Marino? Really?
Yeah, he's so good, but he never got a Super Bowl.
You're going Dan Marino? Oh my God.
But he never got a Super Bowl.
Oh my God. I can't even compare the two. But just the thought of Ricky getting it was pretty awesome. We were sitting there watching him bowl, and when he shot it, all he could think of is I got it before Chris. I got it before Chris.
Really? No, he did not say that.
He did, dude. I'm telling you, he did.
He did not say that.
That was his first thing when he come up to us. It was crazy. It was so fun.
I'm glad I'm the first person he thinks of when he pulled a 300.
He did. He said he got it before Chris, and he'll probably get a second before Chris. Actually, that's what I told him.
Yeah. I'll tell you, though, his pants were shaking like the American flag in a 50-mile-an-hour windstorm.
Yeah, if you saw the video, you know what's funny, though? All three shots were dead solid. It was like there wasn't a pin left on the deck. It was 30 back. He knocked him crazy, and although he got it so excited, and David Pride on our team for JB Trios was going to be missing that week, so we said, "Hey Ricky, you did so good. Why don't you sub with us?" He didn't come close to 300. He probably bowled 160 as his highest game, but he shot his wad apparently in that first league.
Well, yeah, he was coming down from his high.
Yeah, something. I mean. But it was
like I said, he's dying. So I was like, that was his one-hit wonder.
Probably. I just thought it was funny that the first thing he said was, "I got it before Chris. I got it before Chris."
Damn it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the video. Is it up on the JB Trio site?
Yeah, it's on JB Trio. It's on AMF Louisville.
You know what's so funny about that video? I saw that video as soon as I get done with practice with my kids. And I'm getting dressed into my uniform to go bowling. I was in my only dad shirt. And I see this video. First thing that pops up on my feed on Facebook. And I'm like, babe, I goes, Camilla, I'm not going. You're going bowling. I'm going to stay here. I bet you as soon as I walk, she's like, why, baby? What's wrong? I'm like, fucking Ricky Dickey. Bowl 300. He's like, what?
A real 300.
And I'm like, as soon as I get there, they're going to start shoving my faces. They're going to start making fun of me. I'm going to hear all this bullshit. I don't want to go. I don't want to go bowling.
We would never do that.
I didn't want to go bowling. I did not want to go bowling last season.
Yeah, it was interesting.
And then who did I come up when I'm pulling up to the bowling alley? Ricky, outside with his mom. First thing I see is him coming up. Chris. I bought 300 before you did. I'm like, what? But yeah, here the paper. Prove it. He showed me the paper. It proves
He
that he
got
bought
the paper.
300.
He got the score sheet. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so our own Ricky Boudreaux, congratulations on your 300, bud. We know that you're going to get several more, and maybe even your second one to have before Chris's first one.
Yeah, several more.
Okay.
Although Chris did get a 299 once, and he's got a video on Facebook for JB Trios to prove it.
I did.
You think you're going to get yours this year in 2024?
I really don't know.
What's been your highest game here lately? Was it not practice? I'm talking about in league.
Oh, in league, like a 299, no, like 297.
No, I'm talking about like here in the last year or so. Because that 299 or 297, that was what, in 2000? That was even before 2020.
We're talking one game, not two.
I don't know, 250, I think probably 250.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Lee, you and me have probably had about 6 of those already this season.
Not me. I maybe had, I think my high game is 243, so I haven't been on par that much. So if all three of us put our games together, I'd say I'd be probably the lowest out of all of them. But I do have 5 300s on my resume, so that feels pretty good.
How many 800s?
1 800, just one.
1-800?
830. It was an 830. It was one of my 299s in there. It was 268, 299, 263. And I'll probably never come close to that ever again. But Mark, you got an 8, don't you?
I got an 800 series, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did it in JB Trios with Neil and Kyle as my partners.
Really? How long ago was that?
Yeah.
That was like in the Stone Age.
That was when we were. Look it up. That was when we were.
Was that 3 for ratio?
It could have been, yeah, or 2 Yanks and a redneck.
Yeah.
Right? It could have been that, or it could have been 3 for fellatio. But believe it or not, the year I shot my 800 series, which I thought that would win high series league, damn Stoner.
Oh, Kyle Stoner shot his.
Yeah, Kyle Stoner is the next week.
Oh, I remember that now. And I think it was 31-32. He ended up going like an 803. He beat it like a pin or two.
Yeah.
Wow.
He got his the week after.
Wow.
Y'all are old.
That's crazy.
But I remember,
don't even know who we're talking about.
I remember the week after the 800 series. I think next week I opened up with a 300 game, the first game.
I remember that. That was back.
You get in the zone. That's when the lanes were tough.
Zone?
You get in the zone, auto zone.
Yeah.
Cheap plug.
That's when the lanes were tough.
Yeah, they were.
You know, they were tough, and we were all using rubber.
Yeah.
We were all using rubber balls.
You had to really be on the ball back then. Today's shot, it is geared to help lower averages, but I remember back then speed was a big issue, and you had to throw it fast to throw good, and I don't know, maybe ball technologies changed and things of that sort.
Yeah, I will say the equipment now is so much better.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like back in the day, we were bowling with rocks.
Like Flintstones.
Boulders. we were bowling with boulders.
Yeah, over the shoulder boulders.
And dinosaurs were like your pin racks, right?
They were our pets.
Yeah.
Like Dino and what's the other dog? I think, or maybe it was just Dino. But yeah, it was fun during those days. I remember one fall season, I'll never forget. I averaged a 700 almost every week, and I actually finished out the JB Trio League with a 232 average. That is a feat that I will never, ever, ever see again. And I think it was around 2011, 2012. There's actually proof online if anybody wants to go to bowl.com and look at some of our old standing sheets. But I did actually finish the season with 232 average.
Yeah, and that was when we really had creative bookkeeping back in that day.
Well, I didn't want to bring that up. I wasn't running the league then. It was still Ken Johnson and Carl Stone.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say I paid them off or anything, but yeah, that was a hell of a year for me. I don't remember if I had any honor scores that year, but I remember just bowling my ass off.
Was that F your dollar?
I think it was. It was one of them.
$1. I remember that one.
It was one of them years. That was the year we shot 800 as a team for one game, and we had was it 22 in a row or 24? But I posted recently that game that we had 22 strikes in a row as a team. Like we started in the second frame and struck all the way to the 8th or 9th frame. And I think that was against Craig Voren's team when he bowled with Bill and his dad Finn. Yeah, that was one of our greatest feats we ever did that year. I shot 290 that game.
Yeah, those good old days, huh?
Yeah, I hate rehashing it. I hate reliving it because it's a little depressing because I'll never be that. I went from a 220 average to a 180 average overnight, seems like.
Yeah, but Bill is still as old as you and me are, Lee. We'll spend another 300 before Chris.
Okay.
I don't know. Chris is on the verge. I got a feeling he's going to be like a 210, 220 average here soon, and he's going to be.
Can we have another segment to go to?
What's that?
Can we have another segment to go to?
You don't like this segment? I was gonna save the best for last. All right, so we got me and Mark's honor scores. Chris, where's yours? Oh, wait a minute.
Hey, you know what?
I got that 299.
I got 5 titles. All right.
Hey, I mean that's still something, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're right. Let's move on. So before we run out of time, reminiscing. That's what I love doing. So we've got.
He does hold the record for the biggest laps in the JB trio.
Yeah, or the most fouls.
Okay.
And the biggest choke. And the biggest choke.
I don't think
the
record.
9-pin.
Yeah,
you have stuff that
record.
will live in infamy. The famous 9-pin.
At least 4 categories.
We have guys that make comments on Facebook like Chance hadn't bowled with us for like 3 or 4 years, but even he remembers the infamous 9-pin, and he even comments on it like last week about the 9-pin and Chris. So you have more stories to tell than we've got stories.
Who was that? Who's this person you're talking about?
Chance. Remember Chance Defoe?
Damn.
Yeah.
And then the Greek church, that was a real good one.
Oh, man. That's stuff of legend there. All you need to do is have a mark, and they turn down the music in the 10th frame, and then bam, Greek church.
And you guys were high-fiving yourself 5 seconds before.
Oh, man. You guys were in first place practically the whole league except for the last ball and the last frame.
It's gone completely silent, I think.
You're still with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes.
All right. Well,
that was a falling of our whole team.
Yeah, I remember, that was the last time you guys bowled together, I think, too. You were with Christian and Brian Brimmerman.
Yeah, and then our second half, we didn't break like 5.
That was like, that was the Titanic. That was the famous Titanic season.
Yeah.
You guys definitely named your team appropriately.
Yeah. Now those guys are killing it with our 10-pin tire.
Well, Brimmerman and Christian stuck it out together. They recruited Matthew Macy, and Matthew bowled I don't want to say Matthew bowled a 300 before Chris, but he bowled a 300 last year. Brian Brimmerman has had, 2 300s? Or I think, he only had the 1 300 and almost a second. So.
You say they upgraded?
It just so happened that they bowled these honor scores after they left Chris.
Yeah.
Now, if Chris gets a 300 before Chris does, then we'll have to make him the new host of the podcast. All right. So, Chris, stop busting your balls. Sorry. All right. So, on to the bracket, the fall bracket. Oh, shit. Actually, this is more bad news for Chris. So, the fall bracket, it got down to the final 8. And so, we're in the second round of the bracket. The first bracket to discuss. One of the hottest bowlers in the league, Brandon Jolly, who's been averaging 750 with his handicap in 3 rounds of the fall bracket, the 2 qualifying rounds in the first round. this week ended up not bowling so good. With his handicap, he only shot 603. So he had to come to Jesus or come back down to earth meeting. And against Jose Beltre, who did not have a good week either, but managed to squeak out a 614. So he barely won by 11 pins.
Oh, that's pretty sad.
So Jose Beltre, who did not bowl average, ended up squeaking out a victory. So he moves on to the final four. That's our first bracket. The second bracket is our very own host, Chris Woodmansey, the last host to survive the bracket. He's in the final 8, and he goes up against Craig Voren. And he finishes first before Craig. Unfortunately, only bowled a 629, and he posted that score against Craig in the last couple frames of his bowling. So we were all watching Craig to see what he was going to do. And he ends up opening in the 10th, but he still beat Chris by 7 pins. He shot 636.
Is that with handicap?
That's with handicap, yes. So Chris shot 629 with handicap, and
That's
Craig,
terrible.
yeah, it's very tough. So Craig shot 636. So the first,
like 80 pins handicap?
yes, it is. So the first bracket was only a difference of 11 pins. The second bracket is even less than that. It's a difference of 7 pins. So it was crazy close. So Craig advances to the final four. He'll be going against Jose on the western side of the bracket. Now on the eastern side, we got the first bracket was George Martinez, who was in 14th place against TJ Phelps, who's in 12th. And TJ squeaks out a victory 630 to George's 611. He won by 19 pins, which is still not a lot. So, but kudos to TJ. He advances to the final four. And in the last bracket of the final 8 was Tina Clay, who's in 9th place against Peyton Esses. This was the largest margin of victory out of all the brackets. He shot 699 with his handicap. So he ended up winning by 125 pins. And he advances to face TJ Phelps on the eastern side of the bracket. So our final four, 7th place, 7th seed Jose against 13th seed Craig will be on one side of the bracket. The other side, 12th place TJ Phelps against Peyton Estes, who's in 2nd place and is the odds-on favorite of now winning the entire bracket. But we shall see. Stranger things have happened.
Wow. That's sucky. That's crappy.
Well, it was more bad news for Chris. Lost by less than 10 pins. That's one spare, 1 10-pin you could have made.
I hate bowling.
Why do you come on these podcasts if you're going to get so depressed?
I don't know why I even bowl.
So you got any updates on the scratch bracket?
Yeah, so basically it's Eric beat Georgie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then Brian beat Jose.
Oh, wow. So it's Brian against Eric in the finals?
Yep.
Oh, kudos to those guys. So they got some money on the line. So Eric Saunders has been killing it actually here lately. So he made bowler of the week for the men. He bowled 80 pins over. And then Brian Brimmerman was right behind him at 73 pins over. So it just makes sense.
It's going to be a good match.
Yeah, it will. That's going to be tough. I don't know who's going to win that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to almost maybe give the edge a little bit to Brian on that, since he's been actually the higher average.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's going to be a battle for sure.
Yeah, I got Brian to win it all. So.
Former partner on Team Titanic.
I mean, I love Eric, but I got Brian.
Yep.
Does both of them know that there's no money involved in this?
They might know. They might know by now.
They know that Chris got mugged. Chris got mugged and all the money.
He had to confiscate the remaining funds to pay off the bowlers that didn't pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought I told Brian last week that Chris got mugged leaving the parking lot and there's no money involved.
Ricky mugged him when he was showing him the standing sheet.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I shot 300. Give me all your money, bitches." All right. So Brian against. So Mark, who do you think is going to be victorious on the scratch bracket, Brian or Eric?
That's tough, man. What lanes are they bowling on? That makes sense, I think.
Where's let's see. Mustache Ride, they're on 29 and 30. Ooh, That's the worst pair. Oh, are they bowling each other? No, they're not. They're bowling ball founder, so they're bowling the first place team. Eric is team in-laws or outlaws, so they're bowling right next to him. They're on 27-28. They're bowling against only dads. Chris might be pulling out the urethane and screwing up somebody's shot.
Oh, so I will tell you, that alone, he's pull up the urethane, so that's going to get the shot up. I would have that, and Brown does get 3 games under his belt before he starts.
Yeah, that's true too. So that's kind of an advantage.
Yeah, I would have to go towards Ian in this one only because he gets 3 games under his belt and then fuck the shot up for.
Well, that's the perfect kibosh for Brian. We unanimously picked him to win the scratch, so now he's got no chance in hell because now he's got the podcast curse to deal with.
True. He's not wrong.
Here we go. Another episode of Beat Mark's Picks. Boy, what a clone last week. Lee, you went 5 wins, 1 loss because 2 of the matches were 24-24. So we get W's. Yeah, we get W's for those. Chris went 5-1.
What?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'm still ahead of Chris, though.
Yeah, and Mark, who was the leader, went 4-2.
Well, we all got a winning week. That's not bad.
Yeah, but you know what? Overall, the record's dead tie. All of us have a record of 24 wins, 18 losses.
Oh, my God. You're kidding. We're all tied?
We're all tied. It's a deadlock.
God, wow.
Yeah.
So basically the first 9 weeks meant nothing.
Nothing.
It's all 0-0.
Nothing. The first 9. Yep.
Wow.
All dead even right now.
So we could have just basically said, we're going to start Mark's picks today, and none of it mattered. Wow.
Yep.
That's crazy.
All of it dead heat. Yep.
That's crazy. Wow. Well, at least we all got a shot.
Now it all counts.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this first pair we got last place Housequake against my team, Hawk Tua WAP. What's the spread on this one?
Okay, White-ass pussies are given 40 pins.
Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
46. Yeah.
I bet you last week Chris was probably giving him like 80 pins. All right, so
46.
So yeah, that ain't bad. It could have been way worse. So 46 is, and Peyton's been bowling decent. He's the one that's definitely been holding us up. Although I bowled pretty good last week, I can't really say I haven't been bowling bad. And David is taking a week off. He might come back refreshed or rusty. You never know. And as far as I know, everybody on their team is here. I have not gotten word from Ensline or anybody that they'll be off. So if I had to pick, I feel pretty confident in my team. I'm going to go with the analytics since we're a little bit higher in the standings. Go with my team.
One thing, what I'll say? One thing about Henderson and Ensline, those guys, they do well against those guys they know. Like they've always done well against our team. And I think they do well against your team, Lee, only because they're familiar with us,
That's a very good point. That's an extremely good point.
Yeah, and they seem to bowl better, less relaxed, a lot more relaxed.
And that's a factor, too. That does factor in.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough match here. I mean, I think because of the fact they're going to be relaxed, God, I'm going to go with them.
All right, I see. I probably should do the same. I should change my pick. I'm going to stick it out. What do you think, Chris?
46. It's only 46 pins.
That's true.
Yeah.
We're doing a bit of handicap managing ourselves.
What lane?
21-22.
46 is not enough to make me go for Michael's team. But yeah, I got Peyton's team.
Oh, he did it. He took the WAPs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so next pair we got Team 2. We got Balls, Mark's team, against Team 11, Three Fingers Deep. This is a classic match. I always like this match. What's the spread here? Probably not much.
Yeah, 9.
15
Nice.
pins.
15.
Oh my god.
That's actually a lot more than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be. I thought it was like Chris, like less than 10.
9. I thought it was like 9. Yeah.
15
Dang,
pins.
15.
What do you think, Chris?
Oh my god.
You know, what it comes down to is George is got to give George 10 pin game. Ron had to give Andre 10 a game.
It's interesting because I consider Ron against Andre the two best bowlers in the league. Maybe if I had to put either Gilbert or Neil in that spot. But yeah, this is definitely a match of the two best bowlers in the league.
And what lane?
23 and 24.
But I will say, I don't think Rick Connor is going to be there.
Oh, really? That makes a huge difference. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, I talked to him last week, and he said he may not be able to make it. So if he doesn't,
that's definitely an advantage you guys.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Blake.
I got Ron.
To bring him the sub.
Yeah, he says if he doesn't make it, it's either going to be his son or Blake.
I got Ron's team. Ron's team.
That's well. I'll say this: Blake has been carrying about a 210 to 215 average book, whereas Caden, that bowled with us last year in JB Trio, only carried about a 185. But both bowlers are capable of shooting 700, so I think you kind of want Blake to bowl in this spot over Caden, because Caden would bring in at least another 20 to 25 pins of handicap. This is interesting. It's a mystery too, because and I know you guys have struggled the last few weeks, so you guys are due for a win, man. But they are higher in the standings. Damn. You know what? Ron has had a slump. Fuck. You know what? I picked Ron to win last week, and he let me down. I think your guys is my one loss. Damn. This is really tough. I can't imagine how long Chris is going to take.
I already voted.
No, you didn't. Who you vote for?
You did.
I said Mark's team.
You said Mark's team?
I said Ron's team.
I thought I heard you say Mark's team.
I said Ron's team.
Well, damn. And Mark, you haven't picked yet, right?
No, I'm waiting to hear you.
All right, I'm going with George and Andre's team.
Okay, I'm there with you.
Oh, I guessed right. I thought you were going to pick against your team. So, all right, I'm happy with my pick now. Sorry, Chris.
Hey, when Ron wins.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, next pair we got Team 8, which is almost empty nest, against Team 12 pin high. The averages here will be very, very close. What's the spread?
Yeah, 45 pins goes to almost empty nester.
And they got two lady bowlers that only average barely an 80 average against each other. So they'll be good opponents for each other. And then Gino against Nancy, which I believe Nancy averages a little bit higher. So Gino, this could be a week that he might pull out a victory. But they never like when I pick them. So they know the podcast curse is real. So I'm going to go with almost empty nest.
All right, I'm going to take Gino and Craig and them.
See, I want to, but I'm not.
Okay, I'm going to take pin high.
Nice pick.
What's the handicap differential between the teams?
45.
Holy shit. Oh my god, these 40s, man.
I know each team is used to getting 140 pins of their own.
Yeah, easier to make a decision.
Now Gino's having to give up pins to them.
You know what? I got Gino's team only because Craig has a reason to bowl good.
Oh wow, that's gonna make them pissed off. They said never pick us, and now we got 2 out of 3 hosts picking them. All right, let's see what happens. Next pair. Only Dads, team number 3 against team 5. The in-laws are outlaws. Kind of a family affair. We've got husband against wife. We've got brother against brother. What's the spread on this, Mark?
38 pins.
38. That in-laws are outlaws are getting?
Yes.
Wow. That's not a lot. What do you think, Mark?
I could see this being a 24-24.
Me too. So that means it doesn't matter who we pick.
A KYS? You talking about KYS?
Although if Chris does go with his urethane, it is going to fuck the shot up.
Easily.
Yeah. I will go with Saunders' team.
I'm going to go with Chris.
Who? Wait, you can't say Saunders' team.
Oh, yeah, there's two Saunders. You Saunders on purpose.
I tried to sneak one in there.
Damn it.
There's two Saunders.
Oh, that sucks. I wanted to sneak that one in there.
Son of a bitch. I knew he was going to pull something like that. All right.
Man, Lee was all for it. Lee was like, okay.
Well, he said Saunders. I immediately think of Eric Saunders.
But Chris is on my team too.
That's true. I didn't think about it. And actually, Tina's a Saunders when you think about it too. They got three Saunders. Yeah. So, all right. So, Mark, straighten it up. What is it?
And that would have been good. I'll take Diego. I'll take Diego's team.
Oh,
good choice.
Diego for the win.
Good choice.
All right. So, 2 out of 3 on you, Chris. What are you picking?
Wait, who do you vote for?
I'm voting for you guys.
Okay, good. Yeah, I got this.
Wow. The only reason is because I think Eric might be thinking about that high scratch bracket too much and trying to get the victory, and he's going to worry about you screwing up his shot.
Yeah, he's right.
But next to them is his opponent, Brian Brimmerman, mustache ride with Matthew and Christian against Team 9, the hottest team in the league, the Ball Fawners. I don't even care what the spread is. I know for a fact I'm picking the Ball Fawners.
Okay. I'm with you, too.
What's the spread? What's the spread?
It's 121.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's crazy.
121.
That Brimmerman's team has given up.
Yeah, I know.
I'm definitely taking the points.
What lane?
29 and 30, which is also tough for high average.
We gave that team 105 pins last week.
Wow.
105. This week they're getting 120.
That's insane. 60 pin difference. All right, Chris.
I want to do an upside on this and vote Brian's team.
Uh-oh. You having second thoughts? Remember how close it is in the standings.
Like, I want to go for Brian's team, but, man.
Lock it in.
I just don't know about Christian or them and Christian Polyurethane, Matthew McC.
No, you're a thing.
Yeah, I got the Ball Fawners.
Wow. Okay. All 3 of us. That may have put a curse on them. All right. But last but not least, team number 7, Long Live Rock, against team number 10, Here for the Beer. I think this is a rematch of last week. So they'll be bowling on 31-32. Yeah. What's the spread on this, Mark?
It's 30 pins.
Okay. So
to who?
To Camilla's team.
Camilla's team, okay.
Do we believe Camilla can bowl back-to-back 600s?
The last 2 times I've been voting for Camilla's team and they've been winning.
You better give her some more of that vitamin D.
Right before bowling.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I'm going with TJ's team.
TJ. I'm going to have to go with, who did I pick last week? Did I pick?
Wait, TJ's team. Who?
I must have picked Mike Wang's team last week. TJ Phelps is with Neil.
Wait, they already bowled them, though. They bowled them last week.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a rematch because there was a position round last week. So they're bowling them on their normal week this week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I did go with Mike Wang and Jose last week.
No, I know you didn't. I did.
No, I did because that was my one loss is when I picked Mark's team.
You went 5-1?
Yeah.
Yeah, he went 5-1 and you went 5-1.
Yep.
Oh, wow. What lane are they on?
They're on 31-32. I'm actually going to go with Joe Bear's team this week.
Yeah.
I'm going with Joe only because I don't think it's not that your wife can't bowl 600 back-to-back weeks. I just think that they're going to get revenge because they got their ass kicked last week.
All right. That's fair. I mean, I bowled on 31-32 last week. And if they're anything like the lanes that I experienced on, then I vote Camilla's team.
All right. That makes sense. All right, guys. So there's our picks. Let's see. And it sounded like there was only 2 unanimous. So there's a good mixture of picks. So there's definitely going to be a new first place person next week.
You're right. There's only 2 unanimous.
Wow. So I'm always interested to find out. We need to do like a best of podcast where it's just Beat Mark's picks only. That's our best segment. That's what actually gives us the few listeners we have. In my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, people, I hear all the time who you vote for.
Yep. I heard that too.
Yeah. So.
And then Craig always says, you vote against us every time he comes up when we first greet each other. He said, you better not have voted for us. So he hates that podcast curse. And now he's going to be mad because 2 out of 3 voted for him this week. Craig, it wasn't me. And yeah, so again, just real quick. So bowler of the week was Camilla. But we're not even going to say anybody else for honorable mention because she kicked everyone's ass. 92 pins over her average. Ron's still leading for the men and high average for the league at 211, although it did drop. And kudos to Mark, still hanging in there at 205. Camilla is up there with the ladies as always. Let me get my sheet back up. She's at 176. She's damn near 180 almost. Most improved bowler is, of course, what's Mark say, most improved sandbagger or something. Definitely. Is Brandon Jolly 18 pins over his average? He's got that new 2-handed style. We got a new runner-up for MVP, or we got a new leader for MVP. Is Andre Odrico, 51 points individually won. Oh, and I'm sorry, most improved for the ladies, of course, Camilla dominates every category. She's at 6 above her starting average. And she's in leading candidate for MVP of the ladies. She's won in individual points of 50, which is only 1 behind the men. So she might take over MVP, period. So if she passes the men, she'll be more important than the men. All right. There's our episode 7. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all your listeners and our dedicated listeners who stay faithful and listen to us ramble on about the Bowling League.
Both of our
Thank you so much for all your support and listening to Mark while he's still on this podcast. So tune in next week. As you see, my team is probably going to be in the top 8 by next week. Top 8. And then Mark's team probably going to be bottom 5. So,
wow. And we'll still be waiting for Chris to shoot a 300.
We'll have to roll out the red carpet if Chris ever shoots a 300.
Oh, God.
All right, so
no, we changed the league name.
Chris's league.
Yeah. All right, but tune in next week. If you do not, you'll be like Mark, team falling down.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Hopefully it doesn't rain anymore.
Yeah, y'all be safe.
You too. Take it easy.